What is going on, everybody? And this is going to be my review for Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection for the PlayStation 4. Now, when I first heard that Sony, Naughty Dog, and Blue Point Games were going to take the Uncharted series, put them all on one disc, and remaster every single one of them for the PlayStation 4, I was beyond ecstatic. Because the Uncharted series is probably one of my most favorite gaming series of last generation. Uncharted 1 was the main reason I ended up eventually getting a PlayStation 3, because I really wanted to try that game out. More than anything else, exclusive-wise, that the PlayStation 3 had to offer at the time. And then ever since I played the first game, the rest was history. I played all the games after that, and I've enjoyed every single Uncharted game, including the PlayStation Vita game. And the reason why I love the Uncharted series so much is because, to me, it's a game that pretty much hits the nail on the head on every category when you look at a game. It's got a good story, it's got really good characters, it's got good graphics, and it's got good gameplay. In my opinion, it's a perfect blend for all the categories. Now, by no means am I saying that it's perfect, because it's not, but I'm just saying it does a solid job on all fronts. There's nothing really, at least in my opinion, that it does anything that's bad. Now, when you hear the word remaster, you tend to think that you are playing the perfect version or the best version of a game. Because, with all these games that are getting remastered, and of course we also got some games that got an HD remake, usually, sometimes, whoever is remastering the game, they just really did not do as good of a job as they should. Because sometimes when you play one of these remastered games, it feels like you're not playing a remastered version. It feels like you're playing just a slightly prettier version of what you've already played on a previous generation. So, did the Nathan Drake Collection fall into the same category that a lot of other remasters did? Oh no, it did not. The Nathan Drake Collection is the perfect way on how developers should be remastering games. This is the benchmark on remastering games. And I'm not just saying that. I am not just saying that because I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted series. I'm saying that because they actually did what developers should be doing with remastered games. They literally, not only did they make the game look a lot better, because this game looks freaking amazing on the PlayStation 4, they literally redid all the textures on the character models, the environments, the weapons, everything. They redid all the texture models. And not only that, they actually added some new features and improvements from the original games. Like, for example, my most favorite thing they did when it comes to improving mechanics from the older Uncharted games is in Uncharted 1, there was this horrible mechanic that involved, some of you might remember this, it involved the Sony 6-axis. Because at the time, Sony was really trying to push their 6-axis in their controllers. It's when it had that sort of built-in motion tilting control in the controller, and you had to actually tilt the controller. There were some other games, from back then that had to use 6-axis as well. And Uncharted, unfortunately, they had this mechanic, or at least Uncharted 1, where you had to walk across the log, and you actually had to balance Drake using the PlayStation controller, using the 6-axis. It was frustrating, it was annoying, it was stupid. Don't know why they did it other than just to try to push 6-axis. Well, guess what? They removed it from the Nathan Drake collection. Now you could just walk across the log and just walk across it. You don't have to worry about balancing or any of that stupid stuff. I like that they did that because I hated that from the first Uncharted game. I really did. And probably my most favorite thing, honestly, with the Nathan Drake collection, and I know I probably might be alone in this. I might be alone in this. But the coolest thing I've seen with this is the fact that you can actually use alternate character skins. Yes, that's right. Meaning you can actually play as all your favorite Uncharted characters across all 3 games. And you could play them while they're wearing their different outfits in the game as well. And you could do it pretty much at any time you want. Like if you wanted to play as Sully, for example, you can play as Sully. If you want to play as Elena, you can play as Elena. If you want to play as Chloe, you can play as Chloe. Hell, if you wanted to play as Francis Drake, you could play as Francis Drake. Now, the character skins alternate a little bit from each Uncharted game, but there's still enough there, in my opinion, to keep you entertained if you feel like messing around with it. But I love that feature. I love going around and, as you can see in the video footage here, kicking ass as Chloe. That's cool. I really enjoy that. And the reason I enjoy that is because it reminds me a lot of modding. Because a lot of people have been wanting to do stuff like this with console games, but you couldn't do it because you can't mod on consoles. At least in regards to stuff like that. You could do that on PC games, but you couldn't do it on console games. So now you basically have something like that inside of a console game already there for you. Now, I'll admit, it's a little weird if you're playing as, like, Chloe, for example, and you still have Nolan North's voice coming through her when you're doing that. So I don't know if that's creepy or not, but it's kind of funny. But I know I might be harping on that a little bit, but I just like messing around with that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff amuses me. It just adds a little bit more charm and entertainment. So I'm not going to let this go too long because all 3 Uncharted games have been out for years now, so there's not really much I can say about the games that hasn't already been said. So, should you go buy this? Is what you're probably thinking. It depends. First off, if you were an Xbox 360 player last generation and you never owned a PlayStation 3, and now you've jumped to the PlayStation 4, you need to go buy this right now. You need to go buy the Nathan Drake collection right now. You will not be disappointed. It is a definite buy for that crowd. Now, for people who already own a PlayStation 3, maybe have played the Uncharted games already, but own a PlayStation 3, so they can buy the PlayStation 3 versions, or if you happen to have already played through the games, like myself, should you go out and buy this? Well, I can't really say yes or no to that. It really just depends on you. It depends on if you want to spend the extra money to basically play a superior version to the PlayStation 3 games. Or you could save some money and just buy all 3 Uncharted games on PS3 for really cheap. Honestly, it just really, really depends on what's important to you. If you just want to go through the series just to experience the series, and you don't really care about like additional trophies or any prettier graphics or anything, then I would probably just say just play the PlayStation 3 games. But once again, it depends. Like for me, I've already played through the PlayStation 3 games, but I still wanted to play this collection. But then again, I'm a hardcore fan of the series, so maybe I'm different in that regard. But it just really depends, up to you. But if you've never played the games before and you don't own a PlayStation 3, like I said, you need to go buy this right now. Now, before I end this video, I do like to add one little important tidbit to this. The Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta that is coming out soon is only available through the Nathan Drake collection. At least as of this time. Because when you open the Nathan Drake game box, it actually tells you that in order to activate the beta, you have to basically have the disc inside your PlayStation, and you access the beta through the disc. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that decision. I think it's kind of, in a way, forcing people to buy the Nathan Drake collection just to play the beta. Maybe they might make it available for everyone later on. I don't know. But as of right now, that is the only way to play the Uncharted 4 beta is through the Nathan Drake collection. So, if the Uncharted 4 beta is that important to you, then you're going to have to pick up the Nathan Drake collection, whether it's through renting, buying used at GameStop, and then returning it once you're done with the beta. I don't know, but as of right now, you need the Uncharted collection to play the beta. So, alright. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please let me know what you thought about my review and your thoughts on the Nathan Drake collection, whether you've played it or not. Just let me know what you think. So, alright. Till next time, have a good one.